All right, so we're all back on the bench. Sam's got a banged up hip. I am suffering from turf toe. I don't know, you couldn't get that in basketball, but apparently you can. That's what I have from my time in the church league. But there was only one technical, and it was me. People don't protect the big man like they used to. So I had something to say about it. I'm very pro big man in the big game of basketball. I take that very passionately. Maybe or maybe not had a few words to say, but that's okay. Apparently, the official was Methodist, and this was the Catholic League. There was a little less skin in the game, apparently, but I'll take that. But that brings us here today. We got Sam, Jake, and myself. The crew's back together. The bench is aligned, the bench is balanced, and the bench is ready to explode. And we've got a big topic. SEC was huge last year. Let's talk about the SEC of the future. Jake, give us your chosen one, or ones, for the SEC.
I've got a couple. I've got obviously Florida, right? Right. They brought a giant chunk of that team back, reloaded with a lot of talent. Then I keep doubting myself, but I can't not put Kentucky there. But man, I'm not confident in that at all. Then I've got a real dark horse here. I think Oklahoma stands a good chance of being a very, very, very good team in the SEC this year. That's kind of where I'll land on my chosen ones.
So you're putting Oklahoma above Bama, Auburn, Tennessee, Arkansas, Vandy.
When did Vandy join the conference?
Hell of a question.
Technically, they've been bringing up the GPA for a long time now.
Yeah.
That's right, GPA. But okay, we needed that. The SEC did, obviously.
I mean, we can go directly in Oklahoma. That's fine. I'll give you my points. You can try to refute them, even though
I hate to say it. I know this is not the way we've done this in the past. I know we're kind of going off script here, but I'm really interested in this Oklahoma take because I'm not seeing it.
So
I think we dive deeper into that, Jake,
right,
because I know you are reluctant to talk about Kentucky. Honestly, God, we saw it in the comments on one of our TikTok posts. Was like a lot of people think that the three of us are all Tennessee fans. I say you guys might be Tennessee fans, but I have thoroughly enjoyed what Purdue has done to Tennessee over the course of the last 6 or 7 years.
I don't. I've already been to therapy to block that out.
Which I gave a little frowny face there, Brad, because you were talking about being pro big man, and I believe you're part of the free throw merchant Zach Edey slander from a couple weeks ago. So I want to get your take on that when we get to Tennessee.
You missed the fine print. And if they drive a Kia, they're excluded.
Yeah,
I can't. That's tough.
Them's the rules.
Yeah,
well, I will say this about Purdue fans when it comes to Tennessee. I remember reading some things from Vol Report. It's an Instagram page that we all follow.
Oh gosh.
And Zach Edey is still firmly in the heads of many Tennessee fans, which makes me happy. I love that.
No, that's a fact. The dude made an impact. There's no doubt about it. He'll be forever in volunteer lore forever.
It tickles me. But the other thing I notice about Purdue fans, and I love us, don't get me wrong, we're a passionate group of folks, is that we are you cannot talk bad about Purdue basketball, regardless of our very, very obvious flaws. And I'm not going to do that. There is a correction. We have not lost to a 14 seed, which I don't know if that's a congratulations or a challenge. So yes, yeah, you're right, Purdue fans. I was incorrect because North Texas did feel like losing to a 14 seed. I believe I was on my way to Gamebridge to watch another round of tournament games when that was taking place, and decided that I was going to pout and go home.
Talk about a brutal day. But that was the year after COVID. Here, like I go in online, I buy the tickets, get everybody there, like before the teams are announced, to get lucky enough to see Tennessee. Just pure luck got there, and then Oregon State just took us to the woodshed.
Was Oregon 14?
I forgot you were there for that.
Yeah.
Was Oregon a 14? Maybe that's why.
It was 12-5.
I was a 12-5.
Yeah, believe me, that's burned into my memory. Brought my dad all the way up from Knoxville to come watch us get beat in the second game of the day.
Yeah, and then got to watch a man in his upper 30s pout and kick rocks all the way home. Yeah, that was a fun Friday.
Yeah. Okay. Back to Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Like another Tennessee bugaboo, Porter Moser is. I mean, he's a good coach. He's a very, very solid coach.
Absolutely.
Not great, but good. And I think this is his best built team and most talented team he's got. I really love what he did in the portal. I think getting Nigel Pack out of Miami and Xavier Brown out of St. Joe's is a dynamic backcourt to put out there. Grabbed Tay Davis, who was really stepping up big for Notre Dame last year, got him and brought in Darian Reed from Alabama. Look, I think Darian Reed, very athletic, going to be really good on the defensive end. Brown is absolutely special. He's led a very good St. Joseph team in scoring, assists, and steals. He's a decent replacement for Fears, but it's not perfect. Fears was a top 10 picks. It's not like you can find those everywhere.
And he was a loud stat guy. Like you knew when he was killing it. Like he made himself known quickly.
But I think Xavier Brown and Nigel Pack can easily replace that production. Xavier Brown, if you weren't really into St. Joe's basketball last year, he proved it against the big boys. It wasn't just beating up on smaller competition. He went 18 points, 13 dimes versus Nova, 20 and 6 against Texas Tech, dropped 15 against Texas. Did everything he could to get his team to the tournament, just couldn't quite carry him far enough. He shot nearly 50% from deep and averaged 22 plus points a game and 7 rebounds in their conference tournament. The guy is a stud player. Davis just keeps growing by leaps and bounds, right? Started at less than 3 points his freshman year. Sophomore ends around 9, jumps up to 15 and 5 last year. I think he's going to take a huge jump up and an offense that's a little bit more freer than what Shrews was running up Notre Dame. But Nigel Pack, anytime he's paired with another primary type ball handler, he becomes an amazing point guard. He only played 9 games last year, but was averaging about 13, 14 points and 4 or 5 assists. When he's got the other ball handler, it's like he can relax a little bit, can absolutely be a lights out shooter. But I like Blair and Rogers, who he brought in for freshmen. Like, if he can keep Rogers out of foul trouble, he's going to be the key to this defense and how far this team goes. Big guy, shot blocker, been aggressive with the shot blocking. That's going to hurt. So if Porter Moser can fix that, going to be nice. And Blair is going to fit in nicely, scoring, just a very smooth player, scoring playmaking off the bench. Plus, he's left-handed. That throws everybody.
Yeah, that's going to say that throws the wrinkle in there.
And I think their schedule plays out well, right? You double up on Missouri, who's not great but not bad this year. Texas A&M, who's rebuilding, and the new coach, and Texas, new coach, new team. Like none of those are scary for the double up. Which seems like everything seems to be going away. They do go to Kentucky, Tennessee, and Vandy. That sucks, but getting Bama, Arkansas, Auburn, and Florida at home is big bonuses. Also, Ole Miss coming to Norman is a lot better than having to go there and getting LSU and South Carolina as your road games. The schedule plays out well for them. And nowhere near what we were last year SEC, but in a very talented SEC. I think they're going to be the surprise kind of sleeper team.
So I'm with you as far as the way the roster was put together. I think it's put together very well. I think it's put together very intelligently. I think the pieces are all there. Still think you have some questions because Darian Reed and Jeff Nwanko both had injury-plagued years. They're both coming off of some big injuries. I think one's a torn Achilles and the other one is a calf or something like that. So you got some question marks about some guys that like are they're like 5 stars. I mean they're talented players. I think they're going to be the team that's fun to watch, but I think my ceiling with them is definitely a Sweet 16. Maybe an Elite 8, they can shock some teams because they're well built. But I think their floor is sitting out, and that's a pretty big gap. I don't see anything narrow in there. I do like Porter Moser though. I mean, if I'm looking at this team and I see them playing somebody, I'm not going to root against them. Like they're going to be the fun team in the SEC. And like, look, I'm a Big Ten guy. I'm really sick of the SEC winning everything. So it bodes well for me for Oklahoma to not be good. I think you're right. I think there's something there. I think they've got a team. I think it's well constructed. I think they're going to give teams fits in the SEC. I don't think they're at the top of the SEC. I still think that belongs to Florida. I know you're going to disagree with me here, Kentucky. And honest to God, we'll talk about it more. I really like this Tennessee team. And I know you guys aren't high on them yet, but I'm looking at them. They're hovering around that like 15 to 20 range, and everybody's like our rankings.
Yeah,
that's where Barnes wants them. Like,
Yeah.
Overlook one of the best defensive programs over the course of the last like 10 some odd years. Let them show up at your home court and they'll hold you to 58. But they've also got like some guys here like Gillespie. They've got Ament's on, what is he, top 5 in the class? for 2025.
I think depending
Yeah.
on where you looked at, he was anywhere between 2 and 4.
Yeah, and then
Now, Sam, hang on a second. I know you're super excited about Tennessee basketball this year. I totally get it. I know that Jake and I converted you. I know that you go to sleep at night thinking about how you wish your blood ran orange. But I have to make one more comment about Oklahoma before
go
we
for
move
it.
forward. Could Oklahoma be the new Texas A&M? Meaning, could they be that team that's on the bubble and they poo-poo on people's parade, but they keep themselves in the mix. They're probably going to win an SEC championship, like a tournament championship, when they shouldn't, or they shouldn't even be in the championship, but they're going to. Do you see the comparison I'm going with? Mainly, what I'm trying to say, are they going to be the new Buzz Williams team? Because that's what Buzz Williams does. He splashes, he dresses nice, he's obnoxious, but I love him. But always comes up short. He's never the guy. He's never the man.
Yeah.
You know who I think Oklahoma is? If you're a 1 seed in the tournament and you got Oklahoma at an 8 or 9, and that's the team you have to play in the second round, that's the team where I think you're like, shit, I don't think my team's getting through this.
But hey, if you're right and their floor has missed the tournament, that's Porter Moser's job. It's been disappointing. It's not been a great run for him in Oklahoma.
Is this his third year?
3rd or 4th.
What? Has it really?
Yeah, it's.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I literally thought he was like his. I actually thought it was maybe his second.
I mean, I might be wrong, but 3rd or 4th feels right, and I think it's his job if he misses the tournament. I think
That's a shame. I do like him.
Yeah, I do too. And I think if they get in the tournament, that buys him a year, because Oklahoma's not like a traditional basketball powerhouse where they've got higher expectations than that. But this is the year for him to do it. I think the team is there, but I mean, he could very easily go wrong, right? If what we see as these puzzle pieces fit nice together, if they don't fit well together, if Nigel Pack can't really grab his magic that he had at Kansas State again,
Sure.
or Miami's Final Four run, if he can't bring that magic back, if Xavier Brown, the stage gets too big for him, or Darian Reed doesn't show up, this team could be very, very bad. They're my dark horse to be at the top there, because I think they're being very much overlooked because of the injury woes, like Pack only playing a few games, Reed and everybody only played a few games, and then you're bringing it like probably your best scorer is going to be Xavier Brown, and he's coming from like a mid-major. It's not a traditional, like, ooh, look at me team, but I think they're going to be very, very solid and very, very tough out.
He was hired in 21.
Yeah, so, 4th year.
AI overview for Porter Moser is job security at Oklahoma is potentially at risk. He'll probably have like an $8 million buyout. But it's, to your point, string of disappointing seasons, particularly in conference play, has him on the hot.
That's true.
That's a good call out. I mean, again, like it's Oklahoma. Like I'm sick and tired of the SEC being good at everything, and Oklahoma included. So maybe not as familiar with Oklahoma's success as I would like to be, but I think Jake's right. I think they got a fun team here.
So before we move on from Oklahoma, I know this may be a little bit early in the program. If you have any problems with it, just call in and let us know. But I feel like for Oklahoma fans, I think it'd be cool to understand and know, what is your expectation for your basketball program for this season? Do you feel like there's some tread here? Are you expecting there to be a big jump? Or is this something that you all are thinking that, okay, this needs to fizzle out, we're going to go on to our next chapter? You know, this is already kind of, I'm very excited about it. Kind of I don't know, maybe it's just kind of lost its luster,
Yeah.
to say the least.
Maybe people will step in and
Is it
defend
football?
Porter Moser like they did Hubert Davis.
Is it?
Because we got more passionate people about Hubert Davis because he made a national championship a few years ago, but then shit the bed for 2 straight seasons. So yeah, come on and defend Porter Moser. Let us know what you think.
Sure. Yeah, that's what I love to hear that. Jake, did you say, or do they even care?
Yeah.
I thought about that too. I had that on my note. I literally said, how much do you care on my notes?
Yeah, well, maybe one Oklahoma fan out there who cares about the basketball team and wants to hear our take. Well,
I mean, I hope so. I mean, I truly do. I hope they care.
I hope so
That's
too.
the only
I mean,
positive take they get.
I hate college basketball programs that are like fun to watch that don't have fan bases. Yeah, that's why I hate watching Vanderbilt, because they might have a fan base, but you can't see it on that stupid court. And we'll get to that later, folks. We can talk about how shit your court is and how much I hate it. So I've been on that damn thing. It's a music stage that just happens to have basketball games every couple days. So
You are correct.
ugh.
All right, Sam, I'll let you pick Florida or Kentucky next.
I've got to go Florida. Well, you know what? Screw that. I'm going to go Kentucky because you guys are going to argue with me on Kentucky. I'm not going to argue with you on Florida. So, again, I'm a Pope guy. It's not the Calipari era. It feels like cleaner basketball. They're still spending $20 million. I like Mo D coming in from Alabama. I like Aberdeen. Big pickup from Florida. Garrison and Owe are coming back. I mean, they're gonna be fun players. Jalen Lowe from Pitt. It's Pitt. It's like one of those things where it's like you want to get excited about certain players on the team, and then you put Pitt on it, and it just doesn't. I don't know. I'm not sure. But where I'm banking on Kentucky being good is the health of Jaden Quaintance. He is just an absolute machine. Nothing he does on the basketball court is going to be extremely sexy or anything like that. But if he's healthy, he's going to be an absolute menace on that thing. And that's the X factor. That's what we're talking about. Kentucky. They're obviously going to be a top 25 team all year. That determines if they're like in the 15 to 20 range or if they're in like the 10 to 5 range and even flirting with the 1 through 4. I don't see a 1 seed out of this team. I do see a tournament team that can make a deep run based on this roster. You don't spend $20 million if you don't know what you're doing. Now, if Mark Pope doesn't make the tournament with this team, then we start talking about Mark Pope's seat, because Kentucky fans are as brutal as any blue-blooded program in the country. Just like IU doesn't tolerate failure, Kentucky does not tolerate failure.
I think IU has tolerated failure, which is why they're irrelevant.
They've tolerated it, but they've also ran coaches out. Like, since Matt Painter's taken over Purdue, IU's had, what, like 4 coaches, 5 coaches? They've had...
Yeah, well, one's not their fault.
At the end of right at the beginning of the Painter era, and then it was Sampson got ran out of town.
We can argue about Crean later because that was a terrible hire. And
I still like it.
I agree. I think Miller was garbage too. I don't think he's a great coach. I
like
think
the guy,
they've been hiring. I like the guy. I don't think he's a great basketball coach.
This is what we're going to get corrected. Was Davis in the Matt Painter era, or was he ran out before Painter started? Because that was like bang bang, like when all that was happening. That was like, I think Davis got to the national championship team on Bobby Knight's team, and then maybe lasted 1 or 2 more seasons. And I think that's around the time Painter started. So it might be 4 coaches, it might be 5. It feels like 150. It's been a program that's like, we'll talk about Indiana later, because we're talking about Kentucky, we're talking about Indiana.
You know what's funny is every time I talk about Indiana basketball, how it's been irrelevant, they just bring up that Kentucky game where Wofford hit that 3, and I'm like, what is that?
Oh my God.
What is it, 20 years ago now?
I was at that game.
Yeah.
Fun fact, at that game, because I hate Kentucky basketball that much that I was willing to root for IU at Assembly watching the court get stormed, and that was like the turnaround for Indiana basketball, but it was like a turnaround that like oh my God, they're
all
going
the way
in the
around.
right direction, and that right direction was like a freaking brick wall. So,
But here I will dispute you on Kentucky here. Quintonance, however you say his name.
I think it's Quaintance.
Sure.
Quaintance.
I mean, he can be a defensive force, and he very well could be that X factor, but he's got to get his jump shot going. And Pope's the guy that coach that can do that. Will he do it? Who knows? But
Is he going to be healthy?
yeah, the health, but it's also the teams that played physical with him. He disappeared. 9-2 fouls out against Iowa State. 5-8 against Baylor in 40 minutes. BYU has 8-6. Houston 0-2. I mean, he did show up against Florida, but 14-8 in a 20-point loss is not great.
Mm-hmm. I don't think you have him in to score points. You need him to score. You need him to be productive.
8 rebounds is okay, but I mean, he's going to get that. Those are against your, like, if he's not scoring, 8 rebounds is not enough.
But
it's not like he had any blocks or assists and stuff going with that. That was the stat line. 9-2 fouls out against Iowa State. Who does Iowa State play a lot like? Tennessee, Florida. That's I don't know. Does he make the jump up? Because I mean, he was a freshman, and the physicalness of that versus high school completely different. Because it's like Iowa State was playing with a bunch of grown men. It's not like he was playing another high school team. So yeah. I don't want to totally write the kid off, but
he's one of those guys where I use the Mason Gillis comparison probably more than I make anywhere else because Mason Gillis was a guy who might not have put up a single stat, but you knew he was in the game. And that's Jaden. Like, Jaden makes you know he was in the game. He might not have 11 rebounds and 14 points, but you knew he was in the game. Like, he's just one of those guys. He just has a presence about him. He's got good rim protection. He's good defense. He can close out. The guy can close out. I mean, he is special at all three levels on the floor, and he is a fun, athletic player.
When you have a 7'3" wingspan, your presence on the court is felt
Right.
all the time. That's a massive space.
And I'm not comparing his game to Mason Gillis's at all. I'm just saying he's one of those guys where you just know he's on the floor. And like it's like if your team wins and you have Jaden on it, Jaden probably had a part in it. It might not have shown up in the stat sheet. But I think I'm with you on the fact that he's got to be productive, especially on a $20 million roster, right? And I don't know what they spent on him, but I'm sure it wasn't cheap. But I still really like this team. I think this is a deep tournament run team. I don't, maybe not national title. I hope not national title. I really, really hope so because I like save some championships for the rest of us. Between Kentucky and UConn and Florida and Duke, like, go kick rocks, guys. Like, let somebody else do it. Like, let it be Purdue or Houston. I can't write Kentucky off. As much as I hate watching them win, it's more digestible with Pope and the way this roster is built and like the money that's spent on it. I'm assuming it's going to work out. Like, I assume they know what they're doing. That's why we're here on the bench. But I can see the flaws. I'm with you.
And I think one of the big factors is that there's got to be something good going on in Lexington for the fact for Aberdeen to come and like make that move. I think that shows the kind of program that Mark Pope is developing. I am definitely not I don't like Kentucky at all.
It's fine. I mean, I hate them.
I can't and won't ever fully support them, but I like Mark Pope a lot. Like, he is hard not to like. He's everything that I love about basketball in so many ways.
He's the anti-Calipari.
Literally night and day difference.
Still spending $20 million on a roster.
Right?
Just legally.
Like, I know people, I've talked with people about their experience, what they know of him, and I've heard incredible things about the guy. Not that he's just a good hang. Not that he's a good, great conversation, just a nice guy. No, he's an intentional man investing in these folks, like this kid's life, okay? And I love that about him. I think getting Aberdeen to make that jump, good for Aberdeen, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, I feel like he maybe should have stayed to help with that transition from Walter Clayton Jr. a little bit to figure out. I think there might have been a space for him where he could have been. I think he could have made a big difference on that Florida team this year.
Patience would have been a virtue for him, but I get it. I totally get it.
I get it. $20 million roster. How much did Aberdeen get?
Right.
So, I mean, I get that, but I mean, I'll take it away. That's one of those guys I feel like has been at Kentucky for a zillion years. Like, I don't know why. I just feel like he's been there for forever.
Yeah.
And that dude gives it everything he got. He's got every single time. And I feel like we do get some hate from what we talk about for Kentucky. But I just, for me personally, and I feel like maybe, I don't know. I can't speak for everybody on the bench. But for me, I respect what Kentucky has built.
Yeah.
I literally went into, when I was working in a collegiate program, walked into an empty Rupp Arena, and I cried. I literally had tears.
It's a great place to watch a basketball game.
It was just it was like a unbelievable experience for me. I'll never forget it for as long as I live. It was unbelievable.
Anybody waiting for Jake, just a heads up, he's talking to the coach about possibly getting some minutes. It doesn't sound like he's going to be getting minutes. It's more about probably, his. I
don't think Coach knows about Jake's, one of his legs is significantly longer than the other. So I don't think that maybe he's not familiar with that. But if that's the case, we can just call him kickstand and just kind of keep things moving.
Yeah, I was going to say they don't know about his gout.
Right. If he has too much pork, it's over. So the team meal is just chicken and spinach.
Look, I'll say this final note a little bit about Kentucky is we talk about the great arenas in college basketball. I mean, you have to talk about Cameron Indoor. You have to talk about Breslin. You have to talk about Mackey and Assembly.
Yep.
Did we say Allen Fieldhouse? Did I say Allen Fieldhouse? Even though I don't want to, I watched a basketball game in Allen Fieldhouse.
You gotta give it You got to give it credit.
You ever get a chance to watch a game there? I mean, as much as I hate Kansas basketball, it's freaking fantastic, and those fans are the most passionate in the world, and
Yep.
it's a really good time. Rupp Arena, get a chance to watch a game in Rupp Arena. It's like, to your
Unreal.
point, it's historic. It's like you're getting a bit of nostalgia there. You're getting history. You're getting national championships. You're getting some of the greatest teams that have ever been assembled. And you're right, it's an emotional experience.
It was really cool. What?
Jake's coming back from getting chewed out by the coach. Doesn't look like he's getting any
Yes.
minutes.
I'm not going to
So-
get any minutes.
Effectively, what we said, Jake, is when you talk about the great arenas in the country, Rupp has an impact on everything that Kentucky does, and it's a special place, and it can account for enough wins to make Kentucky trouble. We did discuss Louisville, the deep south of college basketball,
Yes.
is probably the better team in the state.
Yeah.
However, Kentucky itself it's blue. Kentucky is blue, so
More wins than one.
they have an entire state behind their back. It's going to be a fun season for them, but I'd personally rather talk about Florida now.
That's fine.
I've saying too much praise for a team in blue that I just absolutely cannot stand.
Here, let me go on my little rant here for like I already talked about Quintett's or whatever. Like, Aberdeen, very talented offensive player, but I mean, does he defensive liability? He couldn't break in the lineup on Todd Golden's team, and there was a reason for that. And I mean,
That was a national championship roster.
We talked right.
and then I mean, Lowe was a good clip, but once again, he played in the ACC. He did leave it and points, assists, and steals, but he can't shoot the three ball. Pope has got a lot of work to get that done. I think he was in the 25%. But and then Jasper Johnson, as a freshman, looks incredible. Looks like a lot of fun. Just a lot of tools in that bag. But his shot selection, it took a dive. Shot 41% from three as a junior, 28 as a senior. And if you watch him play, he gets bumped off his line and gets disinterested on defense and on offense when his game's not going. So it's one of those. I don't know. I don't know how great he is. And Morneau as bringing in the other freshman. He's a drop coverage defender for better or for worse. That's what he's going to be, and can be a little bit timid at times. I think there is. I don't think this team misses the tournament by any chance, but there's a very real possibility of an early exit.
Well, and I mean, Lamont Butler too. He's serviceable. He's a good, solid. He'll give you points when you need him. He just needs to get out of his own way.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, we can do Florida now, Sam. You can feel better about yourself.
Ugh, God, that's disgusting.
Well,
All right, let's talk about Florida.
can Florida repeat?
Yes,
Yeah, like
they might.
Sorry,
They're more
yes.
talented this year than they were last year.
I think so too. I've been trying to talk myself out of that. I've been looking up. I've been researching. I can't. They're there.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I was responding to somebody telling me I don't know anything about Purdue basketball, and that's just like, I was like, okay, you graduated with the baby Boilers. Congratulations. How far did we get? We're not set up to be good for the next few years. We have Omer Meyer, we have Daniel Jacobson, we have Cox, Harrison West. Recruiting and portal work is getting much better. I cannot wait to respond to this girl, Megan. We'll talk about you later, Megan. But no, this team. Okay, Xavion Lee, Buggy Fland, and then you got Ho and Condon and Ruben. This is a fun team, right? I mean, this is a fun team. Is Oliver Rue going to play? We talked about that earlier. 7'9", just got denied playing for the football team because he has an 11-inch vertical. Is he going to play?
Not garbage mop up time.
Probably.
He's
No.
probably a November.
He'll be cheered on from the fans to come off the bench, and they're going to be cheering for him because that's how Florida fans do. They're obnoxious and cocky, and they're going to claim him as their own. And that's fine. They can claim him if they want.
Yeah, I think this team can do it again. I think this is a top 1 through 3 seed come NCAA tournament time. I think this is a team that's going to be in your like weekly 1 through 10. I don't think there's going to be anything that the three of us are going to say that's going to be groundbreaking. I think everybody knows Todd Golden's a good coach. He's got 6 guys on this team that can go to the NBA next year. This is a fun team. They're going to do fun things. They're going to wreak havoc in the SEC again. That's not the team you want to go into Gainesville and have a bad night because it's going to get worse. But yeah, that's where I'm at with them. I don't think there's like nothing groundbreaking we're going to say here.
Yeah, Todd Golden. Todd Golden sold his soul to the devil for this, right? Like wins the championship last year, wasn't expected to, comes in and he's probably got a more talented team. You don't have to go into Boogie Flan and Xavier Lee. AJ Brown's not getting talked about enough. Fantastic shooter, very solid defensively. That guy is going to make a difference on that team. But also his schedule this year. That's what I'm saying. He made a deal with the devil because his double up is Kentucky being the only downside to it. They get to host Bama, Arkansas, Auburn, Tennessee. They go to Oklahoma and Vandy, and the rest doesn't matter because the rest is nowhere near talent level. You get everything you could possibly want for an SEC schedule, coming off a national championship run, and maybe even more talented than what you were. Like it's not fair, and I want to call Greg Sankey, but he's not going to pick up.
Jake, I'm right there with you, pretty much with everything you said. I think Todd Golden slid into the DMs of the devil. Because that's what he does best, and that's what he does during his lunch hour. But I feel like that for Florida this year is the absence of Walter Clayton Jr. I think that's going to be a big opportunity, and I think what'll be interesting to see from the X's and O's standpoint, I want to see how he's able, meaning Golden, to adjust his gameplay because their front court is not going to be what it was. But their inside game is going to be, an absolute force. I think they're going to be very.
I think overall, Clayton was a clutch player. Overall, their front court got better. Boogie Flan could very well easily be Walter Clayton with a little more athleticism and a little more talent, natural talent. Xavier Lee just absolutely dominated the Ivy League, had everybody like Duke, Kansas, every top tier team after him. Like they're completely reloaded, and it's not fair.
And I think I mentioned this. If I didn't, I will say it now. This is for free, unless you want to Venmo me. But Xavier Lee, I think he was one of my choices, or I was toying around for being my Portal King because he's an exciting player. He's smart. He's quick. He's got a knack for the game. I think he could fit in great in a Todd Golden system. This team fits him well. He makes them better. I think there's a lot of doubts about his ability to perform at this level, based off some analytics and things that I've been reading about. Basketball IQ, I'm going to take over every day between analytics and what we're seeing. Now, I may be eating crow later in the season, that's fine, but I'm excited to watch him play. I hate the jersey that he's wearing, but I think he's a stud. I don't know if he'll get drafted. I don't know if he's going to be an NBA player, but I think he'll make some very, very good money overseas and be a serviceable guy. And hell, probably, very well could, and I wouldn't be surprised winning himself a national championship. I really wanted to find something wrong, and there's not. They're solid.
They're rock solid.
It's going to be tough. And honestly, I think their style of plays, and it is fun to watch if you look at it from the basketball perspective without your own biased opinions and feelings, but I have a hard time doing that when it comes to Florida. Who in the SEC would you say is maybe a pretender syndrome? Who's somebody who's kind of a poser who likes to, maybe be bigger than than they want to be or they should be?
I don't know if you call him a pretender, but the three of us still have to really talk about Tennessee basketball. We got to talk about them, right? After all, we're three Tennessee fans that Purdue lives in our heads rent free. Even though. I'm the one who smashed a phone into millions, and we lost to FDU. It was not a good day, or a good next day, or a good couple weeks. But again, Megan, congratulations for being at the FDU game. So you don't want us to come at you because you were at the FDU game? Congratulations. That makes you immune for people coming after you with your poor take that we don't know ball because we said Purdue's set up to be good for a few years. Megan.
Way to go, Megan.
Yeah, congratulations for being at that game. Great. I was at a bar for North Texas. My grandpa has a rake. All these things are relevant. So, all right. Anyway, Tennessee. From diehard Tennessee fans, Tennessee.
Should Tennessee be in the chosen ones?
I'm down on them. Too many question marks. Too many.
That's the way I feel.
I'm gonna go against you guys. So I got the pleasure of watching Jacoby Gillespie.
Yeah,
the best players in the Big Ten last year.
Mm-hmm.
You got Abram coming from Louisiana Tech, who I think is going to be a fun add-on. You got Akpara, you got Phillips. Cade Phillips is I like him, right? And you get Estrella's coming back. I think was Estrella like 58 years old now, and then you got a top 5 recruit from the country coming to Tennessee. So you raided Maryland's coffers. You got some good returners coming back, and then you got a top 5 recruit. I don't know what there's not to be excited about. You guys might not like knock down the doors of the SEC and not win the whole thing, but come tournament time, Tennessee's not a team I want to see, and you guys will be in the tournament. And you guys got one of the best defensive coaches in the game, and defense wins championships, right? And the piece that you guys have always missed is offense. You got Jacoby Gillespie and you got Nate Ament that can give you some offense. So you got what you guys needed to fill that void. Tennessee is a perennial top 25 defensive team every year.
I'm not trying to sandbag by any stretch of the imagination by saying something like Sam did last week, saying that he doesn't believe anybody from the Big Ten is going to be a number 1 seed, which I think is absolutely incredibly inaccurate.
We'll see.
I'll be shocked if that doesn't happen. So I'm not trying to pull that card, and I obviously hope that we do incredibly well.
Who do you guys think the best guard big man duo in college basketball was last year? Yeah, it was Braden Smith and TKR. And I see that with Gillespie and Ament. I see a duo that is going to pick teams apart. I think they are going to be phenomenal together. I think you guys.
But now you're getting me excited, and then now I'm stressed out, and now I don't know how I'm going to handle myself when I get my hopes up. And
God, I should have worn orange hat because the tinfoil is going to come out like crazy. I can't wait for Megan to respond to this. Megan, as I'm wearing an orange Arrow racing hat. Megan. Like, I don't know. Like, Purdue and Tennessee will probably play each other in the tournament if they both go deep enough because they always wind up in the much as it pisses us off and all that fun stuff. Like, Tennessee is a problem. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on him. And I think that's exactly what Barnes wants. I think he wants people sleeping on him. They're going to be in that 15 to 20 range at the start of the year. And then people are going to be like surprised that Tennessee all of a sudden is got like a top 10 defense. And if you're surprised by that, go do something else besides college basketball analytics. Right. I can guarantee you Torvik's not going to be surprised. I can guarantee you all the sites like the Ken Palms and all that stuff. They're not going to be surprised. The net's not going to be surprised. I think where you're going to see surprises is how well offensively this team does under a Barnes coach team. You guys got some stuff to be excited about. Like I would be crazy optimistic for a team that lost in the Elite Eight last year. That probably shouldn't. That wasn't as good as the team that lost in the Elite Eight the year before. We're talking about back Elite Eight. I think this is an Elite Eight Final Four team. I think they have the potential to do it.
I think, and Jake, I'm ready for you to be unleashed. I feel like I'm going to unleash the Kraken in just a minute. But I feel like for what you said, Sam, I think that it's not about who Tennessee has, it's who they lost. And so much was riding on them and a lot of their success. It's a matter of leadership on the floor. I'm an X's and O's guy. I look at things through that. I nerd out about that stuff. I don't know who's there that's going to step up and be the guy to grab somebody by the jersey and get them in check. And I hope that's established early. And I'm going to be looking for that early. And JP, I hope, is that guy. For one thing, I wouldn't mess with JP because he's a dark horse favorite to come with you into an alley when you have a bar fight. He didn't back down from your boy Edie.
No.
He gave him help, but he's got to stay healthy. We'll see how he is when he bounces back. But am I excited about some of this young talent? Absolutely. Do I believe in Barnes? Absolutely. But we've got to score the basketball. We can't be one-dimensional. You have to be multi to be able to be successful. Unless you have a dominant inside presence like Florida, where they can literally beat the ball into the paint and dominate most people in the country.
Yeah.
Tennessee, I don't think, has that. To be able to get to the rim, they don't have the experience and the strength to get to that point. But
yeah, I get to be the Tennessee fan of this group today, which is fun. It's fun for me.
Well, let's hear what Jake has to say because maybe.
Okay, we can start with the good, right? Loved Gillespie.
Yeah,
absolutely great point guard, fantastic player. I'm excited we got him. Man,
Yeah.
this recruiting class, though, this is special. I mean, Amit is obviously a fantastic player. Depending on where you look, there's a little bit longer shots, but talks of him going 1 overall. And we haven't had a player like that since Bernard King. Like it's been that long, so this is something to be excited about. And I'm not trying to poo-poo on Tennessee's season. I'm saying
Yeah.
if your contender ranges win the SEC Final Four, I don't know that we're there yet. But
I don't think you're going to win the SEC.
I love Amari Evans. I think he is an exciting player that fits Barnes' style perfectly. A more offensively talented Meshack is what I think we got there. Dwayne Brown, I think, is the next Awaka. I mean, he's 6'8", but he has a standing reach of 9 foot tall, and he's 250. Not a great
Good Awaka or bad Awaka?
I mean,
Because there's both.
yeah,
Mentally stable Awaka. No offense, Awaka. If you're listening, which we all know you are, you're great.
He's one of our dozens of fans.
look, he's
Yeah, that's right. I miss that guy.
yeah. I mean, this is a compliment I'm throwing his way. I love the way Awaka play.
Mhm.
Brown doesn't have a ton of offensive skill, but it's not going to be asked of it. He's just good in the low post, can use both hands, and he grabs the rebounds like a madman. We signed a couple of international players. Berg off the Israeli team, fantastic shooter, should help one of my worries. And Masamba, I don't know how this international thing works. ESPN, while the kid was in high school over here, had him as a 3-star recruit that somehow Duke and Kansas and Tennessee and Kentucky were all after. So I don't understand their star rating there because when's the last time those guys fought over a 3-star? But goes over to France, plays in their top league, and now is coming back to Tennessee. Look, there's a lot to be excited about. A lot of talent here. Barnes is the best teams because Barnes is such a defensive mastermind. Had guys that have been there for years. I think our biggest returner is 2 years with Phillips and Estrella. And Okpara was just last year, so this would be his second year. None of those guys are very physical players. The defensive loss that was Meshack and Ziegler is massive, and I don't know that we replaced that. And Barnes' defense is very complicated in how it runs because there's a lot of communication, a lot of things that have to be going, and you've got to know your roles. And I'm not sure we've got enough time to glue this team together. If we had this team next year, this exact team, I would think we're a title contender. I don't know how. I don't have the faith that Barnes will get it all glued together enough in time to win the SEC and push for the Final Four.
Wait, are you saying? Hang on a second. Were you saying that if Tennessee had this team last year and this is their second go around with this team, you're saying that they would be? You'd see them as a okay.
The talent is there. It's just it takes a little bit longer to get the defensive properties installed, and I just don't know that that's going to be done in time. And people want to make a big deal about Amari Abram, but everybody forgets how he struggled at Ole Miss, went to Georgia Tech, struggled there, and had to go drop down to Louisiana Tech to be found again. He had a fantastic year, shot 40% from deep last year. I'm saying, prove to me you can do it with the big boys first. Before we start getting excited about him. It's not like Lanier and Connect who showed up and made a splash immediately and stuff. They're like, this guy's had a run in the SEC and it did not go well.
Gillespie's going to be an immediate impact.
Yeah. I question his defense like that because Barnes will not bend on that.
Yeah, Barnes will get him there. I don't doubt. And now we get early in the season and Gillespie is the Fletcher Lloyd of Tennessee, then whoops.
And the schedule is punishing, right? We double up Bama and Kentucky and Vandy, which Vandy always has our number. It doesn't matter. They beat us once last year and took us to the brink. And then we get Auburn and Oklahoma at home, so yay. But we go on the road to Florida and Arkansas, so boo. It's just the double ups hurt because we don't get that extra game against South Carolina or LSU or an Ole Miss and Mississippi State. We get Kentucky and Bama twice. It's going to be a rough year. It wouldn't shock me, though, if the last third of the SEC season and into the tournament, they start really come together and make a run. Having a player like Amit, he could absolutely fuel that. But let's put a lot of weight on an 18-year-old kid shoulders, and that's not gone well for anybody. Cal did it once with world-class talent. Duke did it, but everybody forgets Quinn Cook and Amari Jefferson were the cornerstones of that team. And past that, it's not been a freshman-dependent team to win a championship in a long time.
In the era of transfers or portal, participation, is Gillespie one of the bigger names that Tennessee's ever gotten?
Yeah,
I think it's the biggest get that we've ever gotten
Our
in terms
conference get one of the
Well,
best players in the conference.
yeah. I can't remember his name. It was a 5-star player, came from Oregon, never really showed it up. Lefty shooter. He was a pretty big get at the time. We were really excited about. Played a couple years. I cannot remember his name.
of this is going to kill
Victor
me.
something or something like that. Bailey, maybe Victor Bailey. I could be making that.
Yeah. Complete.
Yeah,
Not a good
it didn't
situation.
land, but like at the time when he transferred, it was supposed to be.
You're right. I forgot about him.
Gillespie is probably a bigger get because
He was third team all Big Ten, and flirted with second team.
yeah.
This is a big get.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is
not mocking that. I was just saying Victor Bailey was looked upon with the
yeah,
same level, I think, right around there.
yeah.
Well, and I think that's. I mean, that's. So I mean, I guess that's the expectation. I mean, I hope he I mean, especially. I mean, he's an in-state guy. I think he's from. I think he's a Greenville,
Yeah.
Tennessee guy or something like that. And I really feel like he could be. It'd be good for the program for him to do well
I hope so.
for a lot of reasons.
Believe me, I want to be wrong so bad.
I'm excited to see what happens. I just don't have. I was more excited last year, I think, and more confident. Akpara, I will say this about Akpara. He was a breath of fresh air, given that we had Jonas Adu, who was the biggest. I would rather have one of those, those flailing things at a car dealership that floats around. I would rather have one of those inflated by the rim than have that guy. At least it'd be a distraction. But he seems to have wanted to play for other teams his entire time being at Tennessee.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I'm not the Purdue fan, or not the Tennessee fan. I just thought we're going to jump on that. Not the Tennessee fan of this group, but I am wearing a Grizzlies jersey and I'm wearing an orange hat. So
Like
I'm
you're
high
still
on
conscious of telling you that you are a Tennessee fan.
that's right.
How many games have we watched together, Jeff?
So long.
Like over the course of the last 6 or 7 years? Like you probably watched just as many Purdue games as I've watched Tennessee games, but we've watched them together. We've screamed at the same television on same days. So I think I've earned some of the orange that's in my blood.
Yeah, you're there.
Again, I'm not.
Because because Purdue's taken it.
Yeah, I mean, we've got it on our hands. Some of it belongs to an official late in the second half that called a questionable foul on Carson Edwards.
It wasn't questionable.
I mean, I questioned it. It might have been.
We don't need to rehash it. It's okay. I don't need to cry on camera. Like the rest of my pretender, that second level, whatever you call it, pretenders. I've got Bama, Vandy, and Auburn there. Like that's
Arkansas.
no.
Put Arkansas in there.
Why?
You're gonna.
They paid for it.
You're gonna piss off Cal Nation more than we already have. Cal's a scumbag. Cal put together a pretty decent roster here.
Okay.
He's actually got people coming back. This is like the first year he's got like 4 rotational players coming back.
I don't know.
He's obviously got a couple like 5-star recruits coming in, right? But like it's Cal. They're going to be in the tournament.
I mean, they're going to be in the tournament. Don't get me wrong. Like I don't think they're a second weekend team. I think they got
The player I'm excited about is Pringle.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. Journeyman.
Bama, the three of us are going to find out in November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's here. I'll give you my spill on Arkansas. Like Acuff and Thomas, real deals. Not knocking them. Seeley, Fernando, and Rattel don't excite me at all. Not in love with Ewan or Pringle either. Wagner doesn't share the ball well with Fland. How do we expect that to go with Acuff and be better?
Yes.
Look, and I think Carter Knox, is that his name? Knox was his last name. We're blowing his last few games way out of proportion. Let's not forget, Illinois and Bama, shut him out. Nothing.
Yeah.
Florida, Ole Miss,
Good point.
LSU, Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas, Mississippi State, South Carolina, and Kansas, and Tennessee all held him below 10 points. He showed up for a 6-game stretch there at the end of the SEC season and against St. John's, who was having the worst night of its world, and Texas Tech, but he played so many minutes at Texas Tech that St. John's, 9 of his 15 points came from the free throw line. But no assists, no blocks, no steals in the the overtime loss to Texas Tech. How do you play ish minutes and not do anything besides the 10-ish points he scored?
They struggled that entire second half. It was like somebody actively rooting against them, but then also kind of like, we'll see what happens here. They struggled that entire second half.
Brazil is a very loud 10 points randomly.
It's like the Carter. Then we the
Cohen Carr, like it's going to be a
Cohen
loud 10
Carr.
points. He'll make some
Yeah,
fantastic play, and then he'll be absent for the next 3 games. Richmond, look, he showed a couple flashes against Illinois, Ole Miss, and St. John, but a combined 4 points and 7 rebounds and 3 assists against Kansas and Texas Tech in the 2 tournament games. Let's not act like the returning players are some fantastic guys that had great years. I think we're blowing some of the stuff out of proportion because Cal sells things well. That's how he's been able to get. He's a very good salesman, not a great coach. I don't know how
here we
this
go.
team meshes
Here we
well
go.
together, and that's I don't think he's very good at talent management. It's very much like the self take. Once everybody starts being able to pay players, it's amazing how these two guys have dropped way down.
I think this is where like you hear the Stone Cold Steve Austin glass break, and all the Cal Nation folks just come in and just like start Stone Cold
I
Steve Austin
I got
strutting through here and bitch at you and Brad about what you guys are
I
about to
got
say.
the stats to back it up. Like
No, you do. I'm gonna put Arkansas in the tournament. Like if I'm voting right now, like I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna put Arkansas in the tournament because they're probably gonna make it. But there's flaws. It's a Cal team. There's flaws. You don't have AD bailing you out. So Brad, your take on Arkansas, or do you just want to be like, look, we pissed off Cal Nation enough. Let's move on.
Oh, I could do so much more. I just we're just going for a while, and I just have to say I think Arkansas will be one of those deals where they'll I think they'll be on the bubble. I don't see them being like a two-win. I think they're around the line. I just don't. I mean, I guess Sam, you brought up a good point. This is one of those places for Cal to really show himself, having like a returning roster. But he did have that at Kentucky multiple times and didn't produce anything out of it. And I'm not going to bet my money. I'm not going to sit there and bank on Calipari doing anything special with this program. I feel like we'll see what happens.
Yep.
I just don't think if Arkansas fans think that he's going to bring them a national championship, I feel
I hope
sorry.
not. I really hope not. But
He won't. He won't. Put it now. It's on the internet. He will not win a championship at Arkansas.
he won't.
He's
He
going to
won't hang a
underwhelm.
banner. He won't hang a banner.
He won't hang a banner.
oh, I really hope this doesn't come back to haunt us.
Uh,
Anyway, Alabama.
I'm okay. I will stand by. I'm fine with it.
Alabama.
Nate Oates is one of those guys that I think he's a very good X's and O's guy, but I think when it comes to locker room management, it becomes an issue.
Having murderers on the team.
And covering up, but I mean, he does cover up for his players, I guess, for committing different issues. But I guess we'll stick out of that.
A lot to be said about some of the past. I really like about Nate Oates is he holds himself accountable a lot because the three of us talked. But like Nate Oates last year, even he was talking about like his loss to Purdue. He's like, I didn't know who TJ Cox was, and I sure as hell didn't think TKR had that bag. Like he's one of those guys he takes notes, he remembers, he does things really really well for an SEC coach in Alabama. I mean, like it's a football school and now it's a basketball school. Say whatever you want about the controversy there, but I saw flashes in LeBaron Philon last year that just made me really excited to be a college basketball fan. There was times where he just absolutely took over games. I think he did it a couple times against Purdue. Like he was the only guy scoring in the second half at one point where you're just like Purdue got down 6 and it was LeBaron. It wasn't.
Yep.
It wasn't.
Stud.
I mean, they figured Sears out, and it was Philon that was like starting to hurt you. This team it's good. It's complex. It's not. You don't have any of like the 5-star, top 10 recruit. You don't have these like monster transfers that are coming in that's gonna like save the day. But this is a tournament team that'll probably get to your Sweet 16, maybe Elite 8. I think that's their ceiling. I don't see a national title team here. Wow, that got really high, Megan. Anyway. I don't see a national title team here, but I see a team that's going to give everybody in the SEC fits, especially when you go to Alabama. You don't want to go there.
Yeah, like my notes on this team are very simple. I don't really like this team, but Oates has done a lot more with a lot less.
That's the scary part.
He returns 3 of his top 5 scorers and 2 of his top 3 shooters from last year. And the biggest thing he has going for him is his style of play. It is so hard to not, if you're playing a team that plays like that, to not get caught up and play it with them, and they will beat you at that style of play. You have to be extremely disciplined, in the guards specifically, to not get caught up and play in that. And that like at home, that's going to be rough. So it's a huge home court advantage he has. Schedule's not lovely, but you double up with Auburn and Tennessee sucks. But getting Arkansas, Kentucky at home is fun. But going to Florida, nobody's going to get mad at you for losing that one. Oklahoma will be tough, but I hope it is. Otherwise, I'm way wrong. But other than that, schedule kind
You're high on Oklahoma.
yeah, like it's at least it's a far drive, but I don't know. I just not a fan of this team, but I'm enough of a fan of Oates, and I respect how good he is at coaching basketball that he could very easily turn this into a second weekend borderline Final Four team.
Yeah. No, I get that too. For the SEC, when it comes to like the bottom tier, kind of the bottom level of the conference, I mean, we don't have to elaborate very long, but I mean, for me, LSU and South Carolina, I think they've got the most to overcome. I like Lamont Paris a lot. He did great at Chattanooga. He had a good year. I guess 2 seasons ago with South Carolina, I like him as a coach, but I think we talked about it before the podcast started, but it really felt like if he was just a little sooner into the SEC with this team, I feel like he could do something, but it's just they're being swallowed up by these bigger guys right now.
Yeah, the only note I have with South Carolina is can we relegate them? Like Paris is succeeding in
Rough.
bringing South Carolina to Chattanooga's level. Maybe he's more comfortable there, so maybe we just relegate them down to whatever conference Chattanooga's in. And
That's fine. The SEC needs to lose a few anyway.
Then LSU.
but okay, one team I'm curious to get y'all's take on Auburn. I'm not high on them. I think there's a lot of
Oh my gosh, I forgot about
big question marks here.
Hey, you got Auburn and Vandy you need to talk about, and probably Missouri and Ole Miss.
Yeah, I just the whole Pettiford DUI thing. Whatever happens with that,
I know.
that's hanging over them. It's almost a completely new team. You've got one of your better guys is Freeman coming from a D2 school, so a couple JUCO recruits. Pearl's a top shelf coach, and I'm never going to count him out. But man, I don't think this team has quite had the talent of the last few years he's had, and I think we see a mediocre Auburn team this year, and not a good version of them.
Well, just like
I
that.
only have one. Sam, this will be quick.
Okay.
For me, for Auburn, it's Pettiford. I like him on the floor. I like his game. He's rowdy. He's undersized for how he plays, and he can be a bulldog at times. And I enjoy watching him play. Obviously, off the court stuff, the optics of that are not great, but hopefully he can turn that around and bounce back. But that for Auburn, that's as simple as it gets for me.
Again, it's Bruce Pearl. I don't doubt him ever, depending on Pettiford's status and all that fun stuff. I think Pettiford's one of the best guards in the SEC.
Yeah.
Hall's a matchup nightmare. I really like Jovic. That's a good sign that they got. And this is, again, like Bama. We're going to find out, Jake, in December when we go to Indianapolis to watch them play Purdue. Again, I'm plugging Purdue, Megan. These teams throughout these conferences that are matched up against my favorite team, and that's how I'm going to judge them. If they're competitive against Purdue or beat Purdue, then either I think too highly of Purdue and I rein in my optimism that I've already said I need to rein in, or I go back to they're just not on the level yet, right? So I think we're going to learn a lot about Auburn early in the season. I think come SEC season, what happens in the non-con is really going to impact their confidence going in, and they're coached by Bruce Pearl. So that's where I'm gonna leave it at Auburn. I think they have high potential. I think terrible things could happen to them in the non-con that ruins their SEC confidence.
It's one of those, but Vandy's an interesting team. I think me and Sam get the same opinion of Vandy here. I'm putting a lot of faith in Byington, but he's assembled a very talented team with Duke Miles, Frankie Collins, Jalen Washington, Doug Harris, out of your big name schools. The guy to watch out for, I think, on this team is George Kimball out of Eastern Kentucky. 18, 3-3, almost 35% from deep. He's going to be an immediate impact player. You add him to the three-point shooting big guy of Nickel and McLaughlin and how tough he is. I think this is going to be a very, very solid team. Look, and he took a much less talented team, outdid Oklahoma, Texas, LSU, South Carolina last year. Should have beat St. Mary's, had wins over Tennessee, Kentucky, and Texas A&M last year. The guy can coach ball. He's got more talent coming in this year and has that weird home court advantage. I'm a fan of what he's doing, and it scares me a little bit because I don't want to give any ground in state.
Yep.
Yeah. If they played on a different court, I would be a Vanderbilt fan this year.
Nah, no, you wouldn't.
I'll happily watch them play away games because I'm with Jake. I don't have many other notes between Collins, Cole, and Washington. I think they've got some really special here. Duke Miles is going to be fun. Nickel's going to be fun. So I think this is going to be a good team to watch in the SEC. I think they're going to give teams fits. I think teams are going to go into Vanderbilt with the sense of confidence that they're playing Vanderbilt.
They're going to beat people they shouldn't.
And I mean, they host Vanderbilt, they're going to say, "Oh, we got a home game against Vanderbilt," and this team's going to come in and slap you in the mouth.
Yep. Yeah, they're not weak. I think they're aggressive, and that's how he coaches. I mean, I think he's going to develop that mentality with the team. It's like
he was
we can beat anybody.
He was coaching that James Madison team that almost made the NCAA change the rules to let them because they went to Michigan State and won, handled that, and absolutely had a great.
Unreal. I remember that game.
I'll let Sam have Missouri. I'm pretty sure we see it the same, but Georgia, there's a little too much Tennessee connection there for me to be happy. Blue Kane from Knoxville, Cannon Catchings being Tamika Catchings' nephew, and then the brother of our AD coaching them.
Mm-hmm.
But like, they're
who we also offered him to coach.
Yeah.
Weird. But he turned us down, which is fine.
He's going to need big production out of guys that haven't done it. I mean, Millender was fine where he came from. Cannon Catching had 7 a game at BYU. Couldn't get on the floor.
As a freshman that didn't fit, like that's a kid who went through some recruiting drama and landed at BYU, and it just wasn't the right fit. I think Cannon Catchings can be special. I think this is legit.
But you got to get him to step up. You got Justin Bailey, who wasn't even the best Bailey on his Wolford team last year.
Nope.
And Ross, who had 8 a game at St. Mary's. You're asking guys that haven't done it before to step up and do it, who weren't necessarily the top tier players coming in. So I don't know. I think Georgia is too talented to be in the bottom tier, but could they sneak into the tournament? Yeah, but if they miss, it's not going to surprise me.
Look, and we're going to piss off some fans here if anybody's watching. You know, it's one of those. When I go through Missouri, when I go through now Oklahoma was on this list, but we talked about Oklahoma already. When I go to Miss State, when I go to Ole Miss, when I go to Texas, when I go to Texas A&M, SEC could legitimately get 14 teams in that tournament. They really, really could. And I know like last year was just like this. Oh, this will never happen again. I don't know. I don't know if it'll ever happen again. But like SEC can get these teams in the tournament. I think outside of South Carolina and LSU, I think every single team in the SEC has a legit shot. I don't have, we go to Missouri, like Sebastian Mack, as much as I hate his hair.
Yeah, it's awful.
He's a great player. I know Jake's not high on Ole Miss, and I don't think Chris Beard was planning on coaching Ole Miss next year or this year. I think he might have had designs on Indiana, but I don't doubt he can get this team in the tournament.
I'll never count Chris Beard out.
Yeah.
Beard, great coach, but look, if you go by like 247 or any of those transfer ranking players, every one of the guys he brought in had a higher rating in high school than he did after 1 or 2 years. So you got a bunch of underperforming players, and you think, is Beard going to be enough to get them to where they were going to be? He did bring in Bundalo and Jordan, who are fantastic, but in a SEC that's already going to be a tough sled to pull through, asking guys to overperform what they haven't done already is going to be a big ask.
Well, note on Texas, I think Texas is going to be extremely athletic. I've witnessed Camden Heide play. Does he do anything different at Texas than he did at Purdue? I hope so for his sake, because I really like that kid. The kid's confidence was completely shot last year. So if he comes into Texas and Sean Miller can get some good juju out of him, I think that will certainly help, because he's capable of doing he's that Cohen Carr big 10 points, and he's also capable of hitting 4 or 5 threes. He's one of those guys that's got enough athleticism to break you down and enough shooting ability to punish you. And the rest of the team, I mean, you're getting the best of a lot of shit teams from last year.
I like that Cohen Carr comparison. That's pretty good.
You got Swain from Xavier, Pope and Mark are coming back. Mattis from FAU is coming in. This could be a fun team. They were a first weekend, first 4 loss last year. Maybe their ceiling is 8 or 9.
Yeah, I think you're right on it, because they were a first 4 team with one of the best scorers in basketball over the last couple of years, and just decided Terry needed to be let go because he just decided to go away from him at the end. That's a different story. But so how quickly does Paris or McMahon at LSU and South Carolina get fired first?
I don't know.
Both those guys are on the same trajectory.
Can we do it now?
Can
we just do it now?
Fire them now, yeah. Like, probably should.
I don't know. These are. I'd rather talk about Texas A&M's like transfer all-star team than just the really lowly South Carolina and LSU. But like, I feel like a broken record with some of these SEC teams. I think they're all like tournament teams, almost every single one of them, except for LSU and South Carolina. I think these are just like not even NIT darlings. It's just poorly constructed teams by poorly constructed programs that several years ago were doing something. Though the women's team could probably, I'm not going to say that out loud. They've got a great women's basketball program. I'll just leave it at that for LSU and for South Carolina.
I think Lamont Paris probably has the hottest seat. I think it's because of that 23-24 season and then how big of a dip that they hit last year. He needs to have a pretty decent year. He needs to beat a few teams that he shouldn't and at least be considered. But also, I could totally see, but about him, he could go, get in the semifinals of the SEC tournament and take us all by surprise. I doubt it with this squad, but at the same time, I really like him as a coach. I think he's got the ear of a lot of those guys, and if he has another 12-20 on the year, 2-16, he's got to have something. He's got to be.
I think the only reason he's not fired right now is because the SEC was historically good. If that 2-16 record happens this year, he's gone.
Mhm.
If that 2-16
Yeah.
happens 2 years ago, he's gone. But that's my thoughts on the SEC. I don't know if y'all have anything else to add there.
No, I think that's fair. So we've gone long for the SEC. I know Sam's tired of the SEC winning, but we can't help it.
Nothing we can do about
What do we do about it? Hey, listen, if I could stop, if we could stop the SEC from being so good, we would. Okay.
Yeah.
We just can't help it. But we can't leave off the bench behavior segment, and so let's rapid fire bench behavior for this episode.
I got it. We're going to stick in the SEC.
You got one?
Yeah. So you got Olivier. I don't know how to say his name real. This 9-foot tall giant that tried out for the football team and successfully
Right.
0 kicks. So that's a shot in the foot for everybody that thought, like, hey, get your tallest guy from the basketball team and let him block kicks. Apparently that doesn't work as easy, or maybe it's the fact that Olivier, whatever his name is, could only jump 11 inches off the ground. I don't know. Maybe the pads even shrunk that to like 8. Who knows? But that's just slightly embarrassing to be almost 8 foot tall with a standing reach of like 10 or 11 feet. Couldn't block a kick in practice, because they weren't trying to kneecap him or anything there.
No.
It's not like it was the hardest. That's just sad. That's just very sad.
It is sad. And it's also sad that Jimmy Haslam is already banking on Arch Manning to be the savior of the Cleveland Browns. And the fact that you even utter those words is a disgrace to the Manning name. And to quote Jimmy Haslam himself, said that, I know the Mannings, but I don't know Arch at all. That's what he said. But he's still banging on him to be the future and the savior of the Cleveland Browns. And so if I could, this is in Baker Mayfield, I know you're listening, but if you could just warn Arch Manning for us, for the sake of that young man, that's not how it works in Cleveland. Anybody that respects the Manning name, thanks you.
2 of his draft picks this year are on quarterbacks, and it's going to carry 4 into the season just to throw him under the bus before it even gets started.
It's unreal. He's already banking on that. Well, anyway, that's the bench behavior. We had a lot of basketball content for tonight. Coach hears us chirping, hears us talking. We're cutting up. We've definitely got those side eyes from Coach, and so
He wants to talk about Jake's gout again.
yes, Jake Scout.
That's what sideline
wants to try to protect that player.
Not my skill, or my lack of skill. It's just the fact that I'm fighting off gout here.
Yeah.
That's a gentleman's disease.
Yep.
But if we're no good on the bench, we might as well go and clean up the game. Since we've got this thing won, we're up big. We might as well go and do our jobs as being the Victory Human Cigars. And thank you for watching. Please follow us on all of our socials. If we're not on a social that you follow, we probably don't need to be there.
Yeah, we should be starting an OnlyFans here soon, folks. So
That's right.
tuned.
Sam's got great feet.
We gotta drive these numbers up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you made it this far, you're already part of the bench mob. So hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe for more chaos. Bench Points is on YouTube, Spotify, and wherever you pretend to know ball.